Snowy Splendor, Book 1. O.W.L. Owl, Story 3. Silence was ruling everywhere in the vastness of a vast thick jungle. It was midnight. The 14th moon was shining in the midst of the sky. Now and then a cricket would chirp, chirr, 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 chirr. A frog near to the stream of water would croak, kurr, 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 kurr. The rest of the jungle was quiet, so quiet. The whole jungle was so peaceful. Each leaf was hanging down in a relaxed state. Now and then one of the leaves would just move with pleasure slowly in the wave of a soft wind. Softness had its own form. Forms show. Forms even in the thickest areas of a jungle exhibit their outlines. Suddenly the atmosphere was shook with the sound of an owl's wings. Its name was the wisdom of the night. It flew in a terrible wave of hoot, creating a sense of horror in the surroundings. That seemed as though the owl had just arrived from a long distance. It selected one of the darkened corners of an old tree. It sat down on one of the darkened branches of that huge old tree. The owl looked in all four directions with its round and big eyes. "Hi, my dear." The owl looked in the surrounding branches but found no one. First time in the owl's life someone had addressed it in the midst of the night in this part of the jungle. "Hey, it's me, the moon," said the moon. The owl looked up to the moon. "My goodness," said the owl, otherwise it was going to fly out of fear. "How did you address me? You usually talk to Chakor." "Mountainous partridge?" asked the owl surprisingly. "You're right, my dear. I always talk to the Chakor because we understand each other's language. We have our social contact, and language is part of our social and traditional atmosphere. But I could feel that all the existing souls of this jungle were either asleep or calm. Why are you disturbed? Why do you fly in the middle of this darkened night? You should have had a quiet rest. Why are you restless? If you are in search of food, you can find it in daytime," said the moon, shining more brightly. "It's not a matter of food only," replied the owl. "It's a matter of serious question." "A serious question?" asked the moon in a mild and civilized manner. "Yeah, I could not solve a single question in my own life. That single question keeps me searching, particularly in the night when there is rest and silence everywhere," said the owl with a cold sigh. "May I ask you what that question is?" "If I could help you," said the moon passionately. "Well, my dear moon, my question is that why does a moth burn itself with the smallest flame of a candle? If it wants to be burnt down into ashes, then it should fly onto the direction of the greatest sun, the mighty one that's called the candle of the universe, to be burnt with such an honor," said the owl, and the whole area drowned again in complete silence. It seemed as though the moon did not have any answer at all. "Listen," said the moon with confidence. "You know these all moths are in search of their riddles as you are of yours. This is why they burn and vanish," smiled the moon. That was a soft and cold smile, like a cold beam. "Well, do they get their riddle solved?" asked the owl with more interest. "Well, it is not known yet, but they disappear with their questions and riddles, and as they get their answers, and before delivering them, they disappear," said the moon. "Then what about me? Will I have to disappear with my disturbing question one day if I get the answer, yeah?" asked the owl impatiently. "Well, my dear, close your eyes and think positively if you don't want to be disappeared with an answer. Close your eyes and think deeply. You will find the answer in you," said the moon, hiding its face behind one of the black patches of a thick cloud. The whole jungle drowned into a complete darkness again, but the darkness was not alone. It was accompanied by complete silence. The silence and darkness both existed side by side. They both were each other's companions. They both played the roles of background and foreground.